know that I'm feeling you, so won't you give your number, let me give you mine. Fine as you are, girl, you got it going on. Let me see you move it to the left and move it to the right. Just keep
Tony Cowell said, Armen's kind of fusion of hip-hop and R&B is just so infectious. His song High Roller is an absolute riot of a song, and I think Armen is definitely breaking new ground here. Armen, welcome to the red carpet.
Thank you guys for having me.
How did it feel having the Tony Cowell, the important Cowell, big you up like that?
It felt incredible just to have people, you know, enjoy my music like that. It's definitely all I ever wanted. So not just Tony, but all of you guys.
I mean, one thing I'd like to ask you is why include religion in your music? Because most aspiring artists sort of steer clear of it for fear that it would narrow their audience.
Well, I want to keep it true to who I am, and I am a spiritual person. I don't want to say I'm very religious because, you know, I have a little rebel in me, but I have to be who I am, and I can't just think of, I can't please everybody, so I have to try to please myself as a musician and just be who I am and keep it honest. So,
do you ever find you get criticism for including religion in your music? Because some of your hip-hop tracks actually quite overtly say things like Jesus and things like that, which is very unusual. I haven't heard that particular brand of hip-hop before.
I do get criticism for it, but you have to take the good with the bad. But like I said, I have to pretty much do me, and I have to give thanks to God for everything that He has done for me. I mean, I've been through so much, so not talking about that, it's like I wouldn't, you know, talk about who I am, and I want people to get to know who I am, and that's part of who I am.
Just a note that all the criticism you might have faced didn't matter when it came to the 2008 Effigy Awards. You were a 6-time nominee and the Effigy winner for Best Spiritual Song. So no criticism on your spirituality from this camp. But tell us a little bit more about what you've been through exactly.
Well, just so much. I mean, as far as growing up and not being the typical hip-hop R&B singer, I had to just continue doing what I've been doing and just keep pushing the boundaries and trying to get to all the people out there. And, you know, from quitting my job just to moving out here just so I can continue doing my music. You know, I had to move from Armenia when I was young just for this alone, just so I can pursue my music in the English, you know, category, I should say, because we barely listen to English music in Armenia.
Oh man, you say you quit your job. What did you actually do before you became a musician and a singer and a hip-hop artist that you are today?
I have done so many things, but my last job I had to quit because I didn't have time to do my music, and it was pretty much a really amazing job. It was a career job. I worked for motion picture industry, but it's just so much. Music is just time consuming, you know, from writing and arranging and recording, all of that. So I had to really give all that I have to this music. That's why I had to quit, and I'm paying for it right now, suffering the consequences.
The indie struggle goes on. It's tough enough being an indie. Was it tougher for you going from Armenia to America? Did you face anything like racism?
I mean, you know, going to school, you go through that, but the hardest part was kind of trying to learn a language and try to, you know, communicate with people, which really didn't take that long. You know, being young, you kind of learn quick, but it was just mainly the music. You know, I've had a lot of opportunities in the past, but because of the fact that I have a lot of Middle Eastern music, you know, especially after 9/11, you know, people were afraid to take a chance with me as far as labels and stuff like that, and they asked me to change my style, but I couldn't. This is who I am, you know. I love music, I listen to everything, and why not incorporate everything?
Well, it's working out pretty well for you. You released your first album independently in 2002. You've gone on to sell over 8,000 albums independently, according to this statistic I have, and then over 1 million plays on MySpace. So staying true to yourself is paying off.
Yes, it is. It always does.
Are you doing this all by yourself? What's your ancient indie secret?
I'm doing everything by myself. I mean, I go through a process where I save up money, you know, from work and try to do stuff here and there, CD sales, and then I go into the process of writing and recording. It's just me and my engineer. Of course, I have a huge support system, you know, from family, and I have a lot of people who give their input into what's good, what's not, but most of it I do it on my own, from the promoting, marketing, everything.
How many hours a day do you spend online doing that?
I can give you my schedule.
I'd be quite curious actually, because it would be like a blueprint for anybody who wants to actually mobilize their fan base.
I usually, let's put it this way, I wake up around 12 o'clock. This is afternoon.
Good man.
And then I'm a night owl, and I'm sure all of you guys are at this time. And then I just do a lot of emails on MySpace, SoundClick, Major Contacts, just every website you can think of. I try to do approximately around 1,200 emails a day. And then around 5, 6 o'clock, I start working on my music, the writing, preparing myself for studio. And then around 7, 8, I'm in the studio until 5 in the morning. And then I come home, put my headphone set on, start working on it, putting down notes for tomorrow's work. So that's an everyday thing that I do.
So, Armen, what do you do in your spare time then?
Well, lately I haven't had any spare time, especially being on Fame Games, trying to get those votes. But it's just spending with my family, pretty much. My children, my kids and stuff. So,
when did you have time to even make them?
Well, you make time for that, that's for sure.
Now, Armen, here on Fame Games, you hold the record for charting the most times on the Global Breakthrough chart, including numerous #1s, and in addition 8 charting with 5 songs all in one show. Now, I've got to ask you, what are you feeding your fans? Why do you think your fans love you so much?
I have no idea. I'm hoping it's the music and maybe the personality too. I try to let every fan, as much as I can, get to know who I am. I talk to them, it's all about communication. And really it all comes down to asking them. I just bluntly ask them, can you please vote? It's very important, whether it's Fame Games or any other contest or just anything else, or to buy the album. You just gotta ask. They say a closed mouth doesn't get fed, right? So that's what I do.
We're talking to Armen here on the red carpet. He's a fantastic R&B artist, has come through Fame Games and doing very successfully. You can find out more about him. All the links to buy his new album, New Style, New Sound, are available on his Fame Games profile page. Now, I checked you out on a few of your other sites. For example, on cdbaby.com, you've said that you could be compared to Mariah Carey, Missy Elliott, or Timbaland. What kind of stuff, good stuff, did you take from each of these influences?
I grew up listening to Mariah, really. I think her music is amazing, her voice, and I usually get more detailed, the fact that she writes all her music, does the background vocals. And then with Timbaland and Missy, they just have a different style. So, of course, I pretty much incorporate everybody and then I put my stamp on it, who I am as an artist. And I listen to so many different languages of music. So I can't help it but to incorporate that, especially when it comes to the writing process.
Yes, I'm a writer, and I got what it takes. Always ready for the next game. Spend my money like it's going out of style. Spend my money like it's going out of style. Roll 'em high, roll 'em high, roll up. Spend my money like it's going out of style. Spend my money like it's going out of style. Roll 'em high, roll 'em high, roll up. If you're riding with me, ride fast. Gotta take chances to be the best. Ain't got no time to slow it down. Gotta keep moving on. A to the R to the M-E-N. I'm here to represent who I am, Armenian. Ain't gonna stop. I'm a high roller. Yes, I'm a baller. And I got what it takes to make you holler. I'm a